G'day, I'm the other photo guy, just dropping in to give you a tip about photography that's helped me. And today I'm going to do a side-by-side between the 3-axis gimbal and the Steadicam. So if you're just starting out in videography, it can be tricky to decide which way to go, whether or not to get a gimbal or whether or not to get a Steadicam. First of all, to what they have in common. Now, they both offer greatly stabilized shots and handheld operation, and they're both a heck of a lot of fun. Both rather technical in terms of their setup, and also their use requires quite a bit of practice and mastery to be able to use them competently. Although that being said, I find the gimbal is generally more easy to use than the Glidecam. Now to the differences, well, the main difference is price. The gimbals are generally more expensive than the Glidecams. That's on account of the fact that I've got electronic motors. Next fundamental difference is the application. What I've found through using these is that the gimbal is more useful for smooth and controlled shots, whereas the Steadicam can be more useful for dynamic and faster shots. As I said before, the gimbal is arguably less complicated to control and articulate than the Glidecam, and because of the motors it tends to be more intuitive to your movement, whereas with the Glidecam you do need to have a bit more manual control over it to make sure it doesn't extend beyond the pan or beyond the tilt. I found that the shots both come out reasonably steady, and it really depends on your payload. If you weigh down the gimbal too much, then it overpowers the motors and you've got a problem. If you overbalance the Steadicam, then it can be a little bit unpredictable in its movement. Well, if I was starting out again today knowing what I know, I'd probably opt to get the gimbal first, and in fact that's what I did. But Steadicam, it offers way more expensive range of motion, so eventually your arsenal should involve both of them.